Good morning. Hey, this is Tim Haslow. I'm up on Pacific Northwest, north end of Whidbey Island. So if you hear the sound of freedom, you'll know what's going on and where I'm at. First things first, I just want to say how proud I am of my brothers and sisters who are over there taking care of business in the Middle East right now. It's not easy. It's difficult, to say the least. It's scary. But we train for this, and we know that we can complete this mission, and we will prevail over the evil that we're fighting against. So that's the first thing. So what I really want to talk to you about today was this whole mass case. It still lingers on. And when I say lingers, like a bad smell, like an overflowed septic system, like the Potomac under Democrat rule, right? Anyway, so there's been some big developments. Some of the appeals have been slowed down a little bit because of the criminal case against Tracy Abel, and it turns out that our prosecutor, who we all know is biased, who we all know is the only prosecutor probably in the Pacific Northwest that would have pressed these BS charges. There was no crime. There was no criminal conduct. There was no victims. You guys can all watch the videos and see it for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. But it was created, it was embellished, and evidence and emails and things that should have been put forth by the prosecution were not. We asked for those in my trial, and the judge, the visiting judge, who seems to have been a little bit more on the prosecutor's side, regardless of where he was supposed to be, or maybe a lot more. I mean, we kind of knew that we lost the case when the prosecutor and the judge said that I can't wear a campaign ribbon, a Southwest Asia Service Medal, on my lapel that I was rightfully awarded multiple times during my career. So as soon as that happened, we knew we were fighting an uphill battle. But with that being said, we moved to dismiss the prosecutor because of prosecutorial misconduct. The judge denied it. Barely heard any of the evidence in the process of it. The prosecutor swore up and down he did not have any emails or other evidence that should have been turned over that wasn't. In court, he stated this in court, that there was no, that these emails that we were requesting and this evidence we were requesting is fictitious. We were just guessing that it might be there and asking for it. No, we knew it was there. That's why we were asking for it. And the judge shot it all down, and the case proceeded on, and obviously I was convicted without even reading the law that I was convicted of in court, right? They didn't even get to hear the law that I was convicted of other than the interpretation of the prosecutor of what that law is. So all that happened. Well, then Tracy goes to trial, and they file the same motion. And they say, hey, we want to see all this stuff that you withheld in the Haslow trial. And all of a sudden, there's all this stuff that he swore up and down was not there, which is and was and should have been provided. And so we moved to dismiss the prosecutor in Tracy's case. Not we, but Tracy and the attorneys. And the judge pretty much agreed with everything we said. He did not dismiss the prosecutor, though. He said the prosecutor is to supply this. The prosecutor did this incorrectly. He didn't supply evidence. He worked with two hats. He was basically doing everything that a prosecutor should not do while prosecuting a case. And he was doing it because he wanted to get the Republican leadership of Island County. That's the only reason. There's no other reason for this, because nobody else would have done this. Okay, so to catch you up, we filed this motion to dismiss in my case. It got denied by the left-leaning Snohomish judge. Tracy filed a motion to dismiss, and it was not approved. It was partially approved. It said he had to supply all this information. He had to do all these things. And he had to quit representing the county because he can't represent the defense and represent the prosecution at the same time, right? So all kinds of problems there. And then he had the gall to try to get the Judge Skinner, dismissed from the case after 9 months on the case. And of course, Judge Skinner, being a very wise judge and knowing exactly what was going on, said, Mr. Banks, the only reason you're trying to do this is because there was a decision that was not in your favor and now you're unhappy and you want to dismiss the judge. No, that's not happening. All this is on record. You can look it all up. With that being said, there's more lawsuits going against the county, specifically banks. And then there are bar complaints going up specifically against banks that will be presented in hearings in courts and at the bar. There's all kinds of things going on. We don't have a prosecutor to run against banks, but what we can do is make him unelectable, or maybe even have his license revoked. And that's why I'm making this video for you today. We need to go out and do some homework and do some investigations and find all of these things that he's done wrong, that we know he's done wrong. But we need to go out and collect this evidence, and then we have to write some professional opinions on that. And that, once again, I hate to do this. You know me, the last thing I like to do is ask for money, but that's going to cost us. And so we need to raise between $5,000 and $7,000 in the next week or two. What that will do is that will get us some professionals. There's the sound of freedom I talked about. I'm going to go ahead and pause this for a second while they go away. All right, I'm back. You can still sort of hear them in the distance. They're flying off. I'm sure they're training up and getting ready to join the fight. Anyway, I hate to ask for this, but we need to raise $5,000 to $7,000 in the next couple weeks to get this done. We're going to go ahead and find somebody that can write this opinion professionally and succinctly to make sure that the evidence and the truth comes out. And we're going to file these complaints with the courts and with the Bar Association of Washington State. And, this is twofold. We get rid of a prosecutor that's a total freaking disaster in Island County, has been since he started. Totally biased, believes that conservatives and Trump supporters should all die and be cleansed. I mean, you can go see this all for yourself out there. So this is twofold. It gets rid of all that, and then it helps Tracy and I fight the mask mandate in Island County, which is still in place, by the way. The only auditor's office, the only balloting place in the entire country that has this, that still has a mask mandate as of 2026, right? Our charges stemmed from 2024, the general election. I mean, there was no COVID emergency. There was no problems with COVID at that point in time, and yet they arbitrarily decided to do that. So this does two things. It helps us get rid of banks. If banks is not there, there's no case because nobody else will prosecute these cases. That's number one. Number two, it gets rid of banks, and we have to and we can find a new prosecuting attorney that might be willing to be unbiased and level-headed and treat everything by the law rather than his own personal opinions. And number three, it gets rid of that mask mandate and allows you the freedom of choice moving forward. So I'm going to include a link in the description of this video. I'm going to include a link on all the posts that I make. It's a Give Send Go. It's not a Give Send Go. It's a Give Send Go, and that way we can move forward on this and get this done. I'm unemployed. You guys know what happened to me. They suspended my access. They didn't take my clearance, thank God. I still have a secret clearance, but they suspended my access, which my employer then released me from employment because I didn't have access. So I currently don't have a job. So I'm not going to be. I don't have the money to do it myself. Otherwise, I would. I promise you, I would. And I'm sure Tracy's going to try to raise some money as well to do this. So with all that being said, chime in, share this everywhere. Let's get rid of this prosecutor. Let's get rid of these mask mandates. Let's bring back choice and bring back sanity to Washington State. All right, you have a great afternoon. And once again, God bless America and God bless our troops overseas, especially in this time.